working on making luggage for my little ladies. We're gonna make a duffel bag, this precious little treasure bag, and a hanging bag. So let's get started. But first, always remember to share this so it will save to your profile and you can find it when you're looking for it again later. I started by cutting 2 pieces of fabric 6 inches wide. So they're 6 inches wide by the width of the fabric, so 44-ish inches. Now, I'm cutting the selvage off, and then I'm gonna sew them end to end. So I have one really long piece. I'm gonna sew one 6-inch piece to the other 6-inch piece. Pretty side to pretty side, and I'm gonna sew it down this shortest side. Straight stitch, 1/4-inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. Now I'm gonna take my piece that I've sewn together. I'm gonna fold it in half like this, all the way down from one end to the other end. I'm gonna go iron mine. You go iron yours, I'll be right back. I'm back. Okay, while I was there, I ironed my entire piece in half, and then I took the ends and folded those over about 1/2 inch and ironed it down because I'm gonna sew this down so we don't have a raw edge. I'm gonna sew this end down, and then I'm gonna come over here to the other end. I ironed it the same way, and I'm going to sew it down. Straight stitch, 1/4-inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop because my grandma said so. Okay, here we go. Now, y'all have taught me this snazzy trick with the dental floss, and I want to put ruffles all over everything because they're so easy to make. I used to hate making a ruffle because gathering it was my nemesis, but now I know if you just zigzag over some dental floss, which is what I have right here, or fishing line, or some of y'all use embroidery floss, it's genius. When you're finished, you just pull it together. There's no gathering and breaking threads. It's kind of amazing. But if you want to make your ruffle with a ruffling foot or the traditional way, I'm not telling you not to. I'm just telling you this is how I'm going to make mine. So I'm going to zigzag all the way down the raw edge. I'm doing the raw edge all the way down the whole piece. This is going to be my ruffle. I'm not going to backstitch when I start or when I stop. I know. Can you believe I said that out loud? I'm following the raw edge of my fabric with the edge of my presser foot, and I have the dental floss going down the center of my presser foot so that the zigzag is on either side of the dental floss. Okay, you've zigzagged over your dental floss like me. Now you're just gonna gather up your ruffle to the length that you need. Okay, we have 2 scrap pieces, 13 inches by 10 inches. So what we're gonna do is take one of them and lay it face up. And we're gonna put our ruffle on top of it, but facing the inside of our bag like this. And we're gonna squinch our ruffle up and clip it to the side. My dental floss and my zigzag didn't meet down here, so I'm just kind of pleating it and pushing it together. I'm gonna put that one there. I'm gonna try to work my way around and see that my ruffle is reasonably full the same way. When I get to the corner, I'm just turning. And I'm gonna put that right there like this, and I'm gonna clip that. I started my ruffle about 1/2 inch below the top of this because I still have to put my zipper on. I forgot about my zipper when I started doing the ruffle, but I don't want to stop doing the ruffle because I've gotten so far on it. So what I'm gonna do is go and straight stitch my ruffle down just around the outside of it because it'll go in between our 2 pieces of fabric in a minute, but so I can get these clips off of here and I can put the zipper in. I'm just straight stitching this with a 1/4-inch seam, following the edge of my fabric with the edge of my presser foot, back stitching when I start and when I stop. Because y'all know, my grandma terrified me. She told me that if I did not back stitch, my stuff would fall apart. Okay, we've sewn our ruffle on. Now, if I had it to do over, I would do the zipper first and then the ruffle, but I didn't, so I'm not worried about it. We're gonna take our zipper. We're gonna put our zipper foot on. Your zipper foot's probably stored in the front of your machine where all your treasures go, you know, tools or snacks. Both are equally important, so no judgment for what you put in yours, but this is what your zipper foot looks like. It looks just like this, okay? And you're gonna put it on your machine by placing it underneath your pressure foot, and then you're going to lower it and it's gonna click to it. Easy, simple, simple. Now, we have a zipper. Our zipper has a front and a back, and I'm calling this the front because that's where your zipper pull is. If you put that on the inside of your bag, there's no way to open your bag. So let's make sure we get that on the front. So we're gonna put the front of our zipper to the front of our bag. Now, I always make sure my zippers are longer than whatever project I'm working on. And I know y'all don't yell at me about zipper tape. I don't like zipper tape, but you can use zipper tape if you want to. Because when it's longer than your project, you sew it and then you just cut it off. You can use zipper tape and do the same thing, or you can use a shorter one and make zipper tabs, but this is the way that I like to do it. So I've placed my zipper pretty side to my quilt scrap all the way at the edge, and I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna sew this down with a straight stitch, back stitching when I start and when I stop. I'm leaving the inside of my bag with raw seams. We've sewn that. Now we're gonna turn it over just like this, and we're gonna top stitch all the way down the side. That's gonna keep our bag from getting caught in our zipper when we're zipping and unzipping it. If you don't want raw seams, you can zigzag all of the edges of your bag before you sew it together. So we've sewn this side of our zipper on and we've top stitched. Now we're gonna take our second piece of fabric and we're gonna lay it pretty side down on top of our zipper. So our fabrics are pretty side to pretty side, and our zipper's right here at this raw edge, and which is all raw edges, but it's face down at the edge. And we're gonna sew that down, and then we're gonna turn it over and top stitch it like we did the other side. I don't mind the raw edges, especially when using these quilt scraps, but if you don't like the raw edges, just do a zigzag, or you can add bias tape, or even cut it with pinking shears. You do it how you want to. So now this is what we have. We're going to put our regular foot back on. And then we're gonna unzip our bag about halfway, because if we don't, after we sew it together, we will not be able to get into it. We're gonna fold these two pieces over, and we're gonna sew all the way around, making sure that our ruffle stays on the inside, in between our pretty sides of fabric. We're gonna stitch and back stitch. We're gonna sew it with a 1/4 inch seam. We're going to sew starting at the zipper. We're gonna sew here to the corner, across, and back up over the other piece of the zipper. And literally, that's it. You've just made the most precious ruffle bag in no time. Super easy, super fast, super practical, very beginner friendly. I'm super excited to see the ones that you make, because my little ladies are in love with this. Okay, I'm leaving the inside of mine raw. If you don't want to do that, you can put bias tape, you can zigzag the edges, you can use some pinking shears, you can do all the things, or nothing at all. That's what I'm doing. Now, we're going to turn it right side out. Bum, bum, bum. How pretty our ruffle is. My little ladies are going to love using this for all of their treasures. Make sure we push our ruffle out. And if you've ever made a ruffle, you know they can get hairy. So make sure you get all of your loose threads and then zip it up. And look what you just made. Out of the scraps from your quilt that you've made all the other things from. I cannot wait to finish all their luggage with you. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.